Hello, hello. Welcome back. My name is Dina Moore, and we have a very, very, very special guest today, Eva. If you don't know her, she's everybody's online XJW mama. And she's going to be telling her story and sharing with us today. So, before we get started, I'm going to ask you why should we watch? Why should the viewers watch all the way to the end of the video?
Okay, I think that there are so many XJWs out there. There are so many people that are wondering if they're can they make it being out of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mhm.
My path was a very long, winding path full of a lot of mistakes, and I could have used me back then. And
Right?
I found that my passion is to I cannot solve all your problems, but I can help you and hold your hand through the problems that are going to come up. And I can give you my best advice. You don't have to take it, but I can give you some tools to help you get through it and get to the other side. And it's life is so much better. You do not have all the burdens that are in your mind all the time to
Mhm.
help to stop you from living a great life.
And now you see why she's everybody's online mama bear. You said something before we started recording too that you said that one of the most surprising things about being out is how much you love what?
Oh, I love helping ex Jehovah Witnesses because I've been there. I know what it's like. I know that it's so it takes a while, and you
Mhm.
need somebody to just be your sounding board. And I
Yeah.
just love working with these people, and especially when they just, you don't have to spend that much time with them, and mostly they can just, grasp what it is and fly. There are some that takes a little time, and that's because everybody's different.
Right. Right.
It's there's not one answer for everybody how to navigate out
Yeah.
of the XJWs, out of
Yeah.
the JWs, I should say. And so it's just taking it person by person, giving them
Yeah.
what they need. Um, I'm not a cure all for for sure, but I care, and I love you, so I want to help you.
Yeah. I've been out for 11 years now, and like a good trained ex Jehovah Witness apostate 11 years ago, I never looked for support groups.
Mhm.
Maybe they didn't really exist as much back then, I don't know. But I accidentally found an XJW Facebook group about a year and a half ago. And when I found these communities, my head blew up.
Mhm.
And I would read people's comments, and the first thing I thought was, "Oh my god, how do they find somebody that understands what they're going through?"
Mhm.
And that was what prompted me to do my first life interview like a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
And I understand cult trauma
Mhm.
to the core, not just because of my own cult trauma and being raised fifth generation in a cult, but when I started doing coaching, I was actually in Ogden, Utah, and all of my business clients were Mormon. And when they were having
Our
problems with
sister religion.
yeah, that's our sister cult. We don't believe the same things, but they are
Mhm.
our sister cult.
Mhm.
And my clients would come to me and they'd be like, "Well, you probably don't understand this because you're not Mormon, but we just left our religion and we've been
Mhm.
excommunicated and nobody's talking to us. And, we've lost our future and we've invested all of our life in a cult." And I was like, "Yep, actually I do understand." I was still active in the religion, but I had been disfellowshipped and reinstated once before, and I understand that dynamic. So, I've been doing cult recovery for 20 years. It just never occurred to me that Jehovah's Witnesses would need cult recovery too. I didn't put that together. So here we are sharing our stories. I have had more people say that it was stories that woke them up. So let's jump into your story, and I will pass the stage to you.
Okay. So I am a fourth generation
Mhm,
Jehovah's Witness. My family, my grandmother got it in Germany when our organization, whatever, traveled over to Germany. And that's when she got it in the 1940s, 1930s.
mhm.
Um, Excuse me if I'm not accurate on the dates, but that's not the kind of stuff that I really,
You're good. You're
worry
good.
about trying to remember. But anyways, my mom raised us as Jehovah's Witnesses. My dad was not, but he was favorable. Um, he didn't like my mother spending so much time, away, but he was favorable. My mom was a lovely, lovely person. Lovely, Erica Lugering, so wonderful. And she was a good mom. And she was a devout Jehovah's Witness, but she was a kind person. And I always said I wanted to be just like her. And I hope I am. I got chills saying that because I just love her so much. They both passed since. I have seven siblings. There's seven girls and one boy in my family. We range from 50s to 75. I think my oldest sister is 75. And wonderful sisters, very devout. I am in the middle, and somehow I became the monkey in the middle because I was very different. I a little rebellious, independent, that kind of thing. I didn't like rules. Let me do what I want, that kind of thing.
Not the
I
easiest religion for that.
I made friends in school when they said, don't associate with kids in school. I tried my best to make. I couldn't do it all the way because we didn't couldn't go to like basketball games and all the dances and things like that. I never went to a prom. I never did anything like that. But I had a girlfriend that was from the congregation that was like me. And if I spent the night at her house, her mother was way more lenient than me, my mother. And we did a bunch, we'd go to parties. I went to basketball games. I didn't tell anybody. Even younger than that, one night I decided that I wanted to spend the night with one of my friends at school. I don't remember how old I was. I'm going to say 8, 9, 10, something like that. I just got off the bus at her house, spent the night at her house. My poor parents. They had no idea where I was until that night when the mother came home from work and she said, "Are you staying for dinner?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Do your parents know you're here?" No. So she called up my parents and they let me stay spend the nights because we lived way out in the country in Apple Farm in
Mhm,
upstate New York.
mhm.
So going any place was a lot.
Yeah.
So I started young. As soon as I could get my work permit, I would pick um, fruit,
Mm,
mostly cherries. That was the during the summer for the farmers. Get on the bike, you know, f- uh, ride miles and miles and miles down to Lake Ontario, along Lake Ontario. Um, and pick fruit. That's how I made my money. And then later I started, that's really a hard job when you're picking fruit by hands because that stinks and that black stuff is all over you. You have
yeah.
to take a bath in lemon juice when you get home. Oh gosh. Anyways, I made money and then I, that was always my main thing to make some money. Um, then I, got a house cleaning job working for some Jehovah's Witnesses that actually were on welfare. So welfare paid me to clean for them.
Mhm,
And that was a job I don't mind house cleaning. I but it was I should have worn a mask and things like that, that it would probably would have been a lot better. But anyways, I was very faithful and coming every week and doing my job and doing it the best I could. And I was never the kind to take a break or anything like that. So the woman next door it was a nice area in town, downtown, our little town, Williamson. And so she came over and she's talking to me and she, was talking about, me cleaning. She says, "Do you have time to do another job?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I went to work for her and that was, gosh, that was wonderful. It's a wonderful house cleaning job because she was so nice. And it was almost like her house was already clean, I felt like. So I was just going through the motions and she just wanted me to knock dust off and stuff like that and vacuum where you couldn't tell that it was vacuum,
Yeah.
but and then I learned about Murphy's oil soap and I really liked that job. She was such a sweetheart. And her nephew lived with her and he committed suicide and she needed somebody to talk to, so we talked, and I would talk to her. She'd want to me to take a break, and it was a really good job. I didn't leave it until I graduated, and it worked out good because I didn't have a car yet.
Mhm.
My dad would pick me up on his way home from the city. um, it was almost right on the way. And that's how I got rides. I got off on the bus and took the bus there to the school bus to their house and then um, would do the job. Then um, by that time, from graduating, I had enough money to buy a car. So my dad helped me buy this. I fell in love with this 1965. Okay, 65 and 75 is not an old car. Or 76 is when I graduated. And it was in mint condition. It had just been restored. And I got it for $500. And I think I was a little short, and my mom pitched in. And as soon as I got that car, I partnered up with a couple of other girls from a congregation and a different congregation. And we became roommates. So it was the three of us. And they were I was um pretty much game for anything, but they were just a little bit more than me. So I
Were
don't
you baptized at this time?
I'm sorry. I've just skipped over that part. Here's another thing. I don't remember when I was baptized. I just remember that my younger sister, just younger than me, a year younger than me, said she was going to get baptized and I couldn't let her get baptized without me getting baptized.
Mhm.
So I think she was 12 and I was 13.
Okay.
I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Um, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
And so I guess it just didn't stick enough for me. So once I got out, back then and being in the country, when we went to the assemblies, um, w- we had so many friends going to the assemblies. And that's kind of what I've asked somebody the other day about. Do you have any friends, in the congregation that that are kind of like, not really into it? And she like, no. And I'm like, oh, that's too bad. you know the whole thing is getting to know people and see where they stand.
I know,
And
right?
then
The big conventions in Yankee Stadium,
yeah, I
Columbia
mean,
Theater. We did have access to other Jehovah's Witnesses.
yeah. And
If you
they
wanted the
would
ones
have
that were weak in the
parties.
truth, you want the ones that are weak in the truth, you just go during the convention sessions, and whoever's walking around, those are the ones you can pick.
That's right. And to be honest with you, if I wasn't walking around, I was taking notes because of the fact that I could not pay attention if I was just sitting there. I would fall asleep. It was so hard for me to sit there. And I didn't realize that I kind of like have ADD a little bit. So I go from subject to subject. Um, but that's how I found all my friends.
Mhm.
Now, we didn't have GPS, so I don't know how in the world we ever got to each other's house.
Little
We
maps
didn't
on
have cell
napkins.
phones. How we never, yeah, how we never got lost, I don't know. but that's how and that's, so I went from living with the two friends and then was there for a while. And then I moved to the city to my own place down in Rochester, downtown Rochester, and got I had had a couple of jobs while I lived with them.
Mhm.
Um, my first job was working for Ames as a accounting clerk. No, my first job, not cherry picking and house cleaning, was doing upholstery of because I used to do that. Sewing, I did a lot of sewing.
Mhm.
So I used to reupholster furniture. So because of that background, I got a job in an upholstery factory. Well, I was there for probably, oh, I don't know, a year, and I put the needle through my thumb in the machine. No, there was stapler. It was a stapler. And I decided that pain was not worth anything. Because when you pull the furniture, you got to staple down, and those are like hydraulic staple.
Mhm.
Yeah, I decided I don't want to do that anymore. And in coincidence, my dad was taking all the kids to driving down to Florida to go to Disney.
Mhm.
And I'd never been. So I went with them, quit the job, went to Disney, and then got another job when I got back. I
Mhm.
always got jobs really fast, which
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
Um,
And so, you know what? That's actually kind of common. It seems like of a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, they're kind of, ambidextrous with
uh-huh.
being able to do whatever house
Whatever
cleaning,
is needed, you
whatever
can do
little
it.
job, not a whole lot of pride that
Uh-huh.
gets in the way of, doing whatever we
Yeah.
need to do. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming that half, with your mom at least being in the religion, there you weren't encouraged to do any sort of education or
No, I
anything like
wanted to
that.
go to college, but there was no talk about it. No, you didn't even bring it up because you knew that it would be a big no.
Right. Right.
And another thing, in 1975, I didn't die and I graduated because I never thought I was going to graduate the whole time I'm growing up.
Mhm.
And so that was another catalyst of, and then brother, the one that wrote The Crisis of Conscience,
Friends,
France,
friends, yeah.
when he got kicked out, I was like, how could a governing body member get kicked out? He has Jehovah's blessing.
Mhm.
How did Jehovah not know that it wasn't going to work out?
Mhm.
Why would he put somebody like that in place in a
Mhm.
big position of being in the governing body that's going to lead his people?
Yeah.
I didn't, that was like, that really stuck with me for a long time.
I remember
Um,
around those years too, that's kind of around the time frame that all of the apostates kind of would start picketing outside of Brooklyn in Bethel.
yes. Yeah, they did
And
the all the assemblies.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and we had
I
to
never
drive.
looked at him though.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Don't look
In
at him.
fact, I think since we're watching this videos and we're like technically apostates, that's the roots of where we started because I'm pretty sure that Franz is what started that.
Mm-mm, no, not at all. He was such a sweet man.
Right, right, right.
Uh-huh.
But he started the movement.
Not he didn't know, but that's what came out of it.
Right. Okay,
So
so what about your career, your Jehovah's
okay,
Witness career from
so
there?
I actually got a job working as a accounting clerk for a department store,
Mhm,
and then I payroll clerk. It was a payroll clerk, and then I decided because I had a bad breakup with a boyfriend, and I really liked him, and I he left a girl that he was engaged to be with me. So lived with his mother for a little bit, and then it fell through. He turned out it was because he was gay, and that's quite understandable. And I didn't care that he was gay. I just, I knew that we couldn't, you know, he didn't
so
want to get married or anything.
was he in the religion?
Yes, he was Jehovah's Witness.
So
Yeah,
he's a Jehovah's Witness, and
yeah.
he's not.
But I mean, if he wasn't out at the
No, no, no.
Jehovah's Witnesses. But
Yeah.
he was such a sweetheart. We had so much fun. We
Mhm.
both did disco dancing.
Mhm.
And we did some competitions. We won once, and we had so much fun together. But it hurt me so bad, and it wasn't his fault.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
I mean, you're born how you're born,
Well, at
and
least
so
he was
I'm.
aware enough to be able to
Yes,
so did
yes.
he end up leaving the religion or
No,
trying?
actually, he passed away, and
Mhm.
I won't get into that story, but and before then, though, I moved. My mom said, "You probably need to, just get away and go down to Florida and live with one of my sisters and my brother that was an elder." So I went down there to that area in Tampa, and I got a job working in the office again, and I took night classes for accounting. And then after I was had finished, I got a job bookkeeping, and then I just kind of kept working myself up to the next better job,
Mhm.
next, more money, because you can't live on just these, small amounts. In today's economy, for sure you couldn't.
Yeah.
Um, then let's see, what did I do? What did I do? I met, oh my God, okay, this is where the really bad choices I made. I was visiting New York, and we were going to go see the Watchtower Farm. And I went with my girlfriend, who's not a witness. She was a friend of my boyfriend that had passed away. Um, and he met her while at work. So that's
Mhm.
how I knew her. And we became good friends. So we pick up a hitchhiker on the way to the Watchtower Farm. Um, he gets my information. We drop him off where wants to be. And we go to the Watchtower Farm. I show her. She's not real impressed. Good Catholic
Don't you
girl. She's
hate it?
not
Don't you hate it
impressed.
when your Bible studies aren't impressed by Bethel?
There was no guys there that I was interested in. It's funny that I was really never interested in the Jehovah's Witness guys. I mean, I was, but I never, it was always like they were, I don't know, not my type of person, maybe.
Mhm.
Not, I don't know, maybe just too strict or too something.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, anyways, when we got back to Florida, he called me up and we started seeing each other, and I got married to him, and we actually eloped, and I called my parents that night to say I got married. They had no idea.
So you married out of the truth.
Yes,
And your
yes.
family, your sisters, your siblings, they're all active Jehovah's Witnesses. Your mom is an active Jehovah's
Nobody knows I'm seeing this guy,
Okay.
and I get marry him. It was not a good choice because I did not have the tools to know who to date. I mean, what to look for in a husband. It
Yeah,
was like, because with Jehovah's Witnesses, you meet somebody you like. I skipped the whole thing about anybody approving them.
right,
And
right.
then and right away you got to get married.
That's a huge point. That's a huge point. There
Mhm.
is no, okay, let's see if we're compatible. Let's spend some, maybe we will, maybe we won't. I talk to a lot of ex Jehovah's Witnesses about that.
Mhm.
How do I date in the world? How do I find my wife in the world?
Mhm.
You don't. You just be a human for a while.
Mhm.
Don't
Yes.
worry about
Yeah.
jumping into marrying somebody.
Yes. Well, 9 months later, I had my oldest son, and he's 43,
Mhm,
and I had to leave because he was very violent,
mhm.
and it was I mean, I left with a broken jaw, so I'm not, you
Yeah.
know, that's saying enough.
Right.
Um, so that was a divorce, and I went to go live with another sister because I have a young child,
But you never got
and
you weren't disfellowshipped or anything like
I,
that, right?
you know, that's still kind of. No, because I was moving so much that
Yeah,
nobody could keep up with me. I would just go into a congregation and say, "Hey, I'm, from." I don't even know if anybody ever checked for my other records, because I
that's
would just
awesome.
start, going in, and I'm like, I know what to do, and just fill in,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
act like I never missed a beat, and going out in service and pioneering, and
That's
just
hilarious.
like.
That's awesome.
So, anyways, I get to my sister's house. I start in the congregation again, and I meet a guy at work. And I said, okay, this guy, um, he has friends from high school. So, which is, you got friends a long time. He's got a good job. I know he does. Um, and he wants to get married. So
Mhm,
I marry him. Um, it actually lasted for, 17 years,
mhm,
um, until it didn't. And then it was, and during that time, which was I think one of the main reasons that it wasn't working out is because I was going to the meetings and
mhm.
he was not a Jehovah's Witness. And I raised the boys, my two sons, as Jehovah's Witnesses. So they would have been fifth generation. And, in my family, that's a really big thing. And I'm I'm really glossing over a bunch of shenanigans, okay? So because of time,
Right, right,
because
right.
there's so many shenanigans that um, that okay. So um, he had an affair. I divorced him. I had the grounds, and I um, sold the house. And my youngest son, well, he was actually 18 at the time, or 17. He was finishing up his last year, and we stayed in the same town. And we um, we lived there for a while. And I started on Match.com. And before then, though,
So let me
my
just back up for just a
uh huh
second. You raised your kids
uh
in the
huh.
in the religion. You
I
raised the kids
know.
in the Jehovah's Witness religion. Were they baptized?
My oldest son was baptized because
Okay.
my family would come to visit, and they would all stay with us.
Mhm.
And that was a lot of people when there's eight
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
and their families. And
Mhm.
because we had a nice spread out house, and huge yard and all that, so it was easy to accommodate everybody.
Okay, so
um
you raised those kids in the religion.
yes, when the youngest was, I didn't really, with Vince, the oldest, I didn't start out that way. It was when my youngest was born, and my sister came to visit, and she went to the congregation, and she was going to meet all the people that I went to the Kingdom Hall with, which I didn't even know.
Right.
And so I just had this thing come over me that I needed to get the boys into the religion to raise
Yeah,
them properly.
yeah,
And never thinking about the future. I didn't think about that. I just really knew that I didn't believe it. And I couldn't explain Bible. I didn't want to talk about Bible things because, um, I, you know, comparing scriptures and who believes what. And I just know I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I thought it's a good book. It has got some good information, but I think it's way too scary and mean, and I
mhm,
don't like it. I
yeah.
just I just like the second part.
Well,
I like
no,
the Old Testament, not the New
I think,
Testament.
but you still raised your kids in it,
I know, I
and
know.
that's the level of the brainwashing
I was
when
still
you grow up in
brainwashed.
it. Yeah, when
I,
you've grown
mhm,
up in it, you've had it beat in your head
mhm.
even when you have doubts, you're still like, "Oh, I
I
don't
don't
know."
want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to come to
maybe
that in
for
just a
me,
second.
you see, because that happened to me too. When
Hmm.
I got disfellowshipped, and I'm like, peace out, peace out.
Hmm.
And then I got pregnant, and
Yeah.
I couldn't
It was,
imagine raising my kid in the world. Like, what am I going to do? Go to the Catholic Church and celebrate
yeah.
Christmas? I mean, I wanted her to have that
Yeah.
spiritual heritage,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And it was, I mean, you're talking about five
Yeah,
generations.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so
So,
then what? So you end up getting a divorce, and then what?
okay, no, we'll back up before the divorce.
Okay.
Okay. Raising my kids, my son, oldest son at 16, because um, because he was baptized, and I don't want to get too much into this, but for a very minor thing.
Hmm.
And I know I've said this before, and people say, well, how could it be a minor thing and he get disfellowshipped? I'm telling you, back then, you could do the smallest thing, wear your hair wrong, get it, it's too short, it's too long, it's too
Yeah, so
anything. Yeah,
FYI, back in those days, you could get
yes.
disfellowshipped for wearing a beard.
Your
You
skirt too short,
Yep,
too
or your skirt
low,
too
too
short. Smoking a
bad
cigarette.
example.
I had a very good friend. He was disfellowshipped because we saw him smoking a cigarette and we turned him out. It
Yeah,
was strict back then.
yes,
I even
yes.
remember getting pulled back, having brothers get pulled back in the back room because they wear too bright of a shirt
Oh,
or
yeah,
too
yeah,
bright of
yeah,
a tie.
yeah,
The
yeah.
religion that's
The
happening today
shoes, the
is
shoes
not
aren't
the
right.
is not the religion we grew up in.
No, 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 it is not. It is not. So anybody wants to, debate that, I'm not up for that because
Right,
I'm telling
right.
you that's the way it was.
Yep.
I just flew under the radar at all the times. So I just never got caught. Okay.
Right.
That's the whole
Right.
thing.
But you're
Then he got
here.
disfellowshipped,
Mhm.
and what really bothered me is him getting disfellowshipped because the brothers are saying, we prayed and we talked to Jehovah. He wrote his letter, saying that, how sorry he was, and that, you know, he he would do better and all this. And he was such a good little minister. He really was. And so I was during that talk when they came in to our house and told us, they go and do their prayer to Jehovah. And I'm like, they come back and they say he's going to be disfellowshipped. I'm going to, I fell to the ground in hysterics. I don't do that. I
Yeah.
lost it. And I wasn't even embarrassed. I lost it because all this stuff is going through my head. All this, premarital sex, living out of the, um, well, I
Out of
forgot.
wedlock.
Doing all kinds of stuff. Getting married out of
You're
the
getting away with
religion.
everything.
I was drinking, just partying,
Yeah.
disco competitions, all this stuff. And nobody ever said anything about that stuff. So, if Jehovah could see me, they'd sit there and say, "Okay, you are going to be disfellowshipped because you have never
Right.
repented."
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I knew at that point there is no way Jehovah gave him the information that he was not repentant, because that boy was.
Right.
He
Right.
was. So that just really hurt. I tried going to the meetings. The brothers were really good friends. We were really good friends. I'd have them over for dinner, the families. We'd have gatherings at my house. Um, and I would go to him. I'd sit there. I'd pull out all the bound volumes because we don't have a computer for all that stuff. I mean, we have a computer, but not. I don't. I can't look for the information. So I'd have like 12 bound volumes on my living room floor. Looking up stuff for. What about second chances and stuff like that, or did he hurt anybody? No, I mean, it was. I went to them once and they tried to talk to me and they said, we'll have to talk later. I went the second time, they said the same thing. Third time, they said, Eva, you asked too many questions. That was the last time I went to the Kingdom Hall.
Yeah.
The last time, because I asked too many questions.
Right.
Okay, now that is my sign. There's my sign.
Interesting. Yeah, you
So,
asking too many questions.
mhm. So then, in the marriage, it was already, after, at that point, my marriage was already on thin lines. There was too many things that went on, and we got divorced, and then went. A girl at work told me, she said, there is a church right around the corner from you that is giving a divorce recovery class. She said, are you interested? I said, oh, yes. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to another church. So I got the information and I went. Oh my God, that was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, see that's interesting too because you're decided that you're not going back to the witnesses. You know,
Mhm.
you've been in and out, this whole time, but
For
heaven
20
forbid
years,
you
well,
step
more
into
than
a
20
church.
years, 36
Heaven
years.
forbid should you step into a church.
So it was a Baptist church, and they were so nice. And I learned so much about dating, about just, you know, what to expect, how to just the steps. And what they said to me is for every 5 years you've been married, you should take 1 year of recovery. So that's what I did. And I wasn't counting down, but it just so happened that I was on Match.com meeting a lot of duds, and all of a sudden I get a invite for a date by my husband, and I looked at his picture. I'm like, yes. And when we had our first date, he steps out of the water and I see how tall he is. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And he had the kindest face. He was so kind and so just listening. And we dated for a year before we got married. And we got married on 4/13/13. We met on 8/9/10. That was our first date. Married on 4/13/13. And I do not regret it for a second. He has been real. He just accepts me the crazy way I am. And I love his family. Oh, his family is so amazing. He comes from a big family. His brothers, I
Mhm.
just had a call and it messed us up.
Okay, okay.
And I love them like my own. They treat me so well. Oh my
So
goodness.
let's
I feel like they
talk
are
for
my
just a second.
sisters.
We're just talk for just a second. So when
Okay.
somebody grows up in the religion, you're so warped as far as what you think about
Mm-hmm.
relationships and what you think it should be, and
Mm-hmm.
you have no you're plunging headfirst right into
Mm-hmm.
marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
But mentally speaking, your energy is so divided because you have
Mm-hmm.
one foot in and one foot out. One foot in, one
Mm-hmm.
foot out. And you might be living a double life, worldly
Yes.
lifestyle,
Mhm,
but mentally you're confused.
mhm,
Emotionally, you feel confused. You have guilt because you know that, you shouldn't be doing this. Hope
mhm,
nobody finds out. That confusion, that emotional confusion, adds to poor relationship choices
mhm.
because you're trying to do the right thing but you're not doing the right thing and you're
Exactly.
not authentic. You're
No, you
not being
never feel authentic.
you
Never.
can't be authentic.
Mhm,
So when you finally get out and now you're finally whole in the sense
mhm,
that you're not one foot in trying to pretend
mhm.
anymore, that's when things start falling together for you.
Right.
And I really think that's important that people understand that
Mhm,
it's the one foot in and it's the one foot out. It's the mental confusion. It's the mental bipolar, for a lack of
mhm,
other word,
mhm,
because that
mhm,
is kind of how your life is. When
mhm,
your internal world is all confused like that, your external world is going to be confused because you're not
mhm.
consistent. So
Right.
coming out,
Mhm,
getting out of the religion, finding yourself, being
mhm,
authentic,
mhm.
that's when your life started coming together.
Right.
Okay.
And when I was going to the Baptist church, I actually got rebaptized only because I wanted to say, I am never going back.
Yeah.
Don't do anything
An
that
act of rebellion.
and and I remember though right before that somebody at one of our Bible studies, we did the Bible studies too, said about being in a cult. I'm so glad you got out of the cult. And I'm said, they're not a cult. I'm still saying they're not a cult.
Right.
And once I realized and read Brother Franz's book, the whole book, I was, oh my God, they're a cult.
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah, I
cult.
had that moment too. I had that
They're a
moment too.
cult.
Yeah, I thought it was just the wrong religion for a little bit, and then when
And
I
now,
read that book, I
yeah,
was
and I don't
it's like
feel
going
like
to the
I'm,
church.
yeah, it seals it for you. And
Yeah.
then I just went along though, and when I was telling you before about my husband seeing a show. It was a Bill Maher show, and
Mhm.
Amber Sikora was a guest,
Mhm.
and he had taped it before me. Once he heard it was Jehovah's Witnesses, and um, I watched it, and because her new book came out,
Mhm.
and I was like, blew my mind. This woman has different. I didn't go to China to learn it. I
Right,
had my own.
right,
I know what she's feeling. She knows what I'm feeling.
right.
There's no. I had watched it on TV. I got her book right away. I read her book. I knew then that that's there's so much more. I don't even know how long we've been on the on, but because I had a beautiful experience when my mother passed away, and I don't know if we can get into that. But I just on the same it was a beautiful confirmation that I made the right choice. But maybe we can talk about it some other time because that's
Yeah.
only half of my half of the whole thing.
Well
Um,
well, I think what we really, really, really want people to know
uh-huh.
is that they are not alone.
No, no, you are not alone. I mean, even there is a lot of information on the network and the internet, but the problem is too, there's a lot of broken people on the internet
There's a
too
lot
that
of
are
bitter,
ex
angry
Jehovah's.
people. There's a
Yes,
lot
and
of
I'm
bitter and angry
yes,
people.
and I am not bitter and angry. I just don't like that. I don't like to be.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't like being in a cult. I didn't like people telling me what I needed to do
Yeah.
when it just wasn't I didn't believe it, and I don't want to
Yeah.
do it if I don't believe it.
Right.
So it was just knowing that there's other people out there makes such a big difference. And
Mhm.
not everybody can help you when you talk to them. That's an X, but there
Mhm.
are a lot of people that you will click with.
Yeah.
And you just need to find those people. You need to find people that are patient. And, I have two grown sons, one's 43, one's 37. Um, I have grandchildren that I love. I would never have this life. I got six grandchildren, just a new baby, just got a new baby girl. I just, there's no way I would have been living this life. I would have been like my sisters.
Yeah.
All they do, their whole life is wrapped around um, going preaching,
I
and
know.
they have no retirement funds, no, social security because they haven't paid into. I think only one of my sisters had a
Yeah.
actual job. She was
Yeah.
also a manager, and it's like that would be awful.
You know, I would like anybody who's watching this, I want you to remember the scripture in that Jesus said, he who leaves, he who loses mothers or fathers or brothers and
Hmm.
sisters for the sake of my name will receive it
Hmm.
a hundredfold back, right?
Right, right.
We twisted and warped that in the
Hmm.
religion to mean that Jehovah's Witnesses are going to replace your family.
Right.
So, one of the biggest obstacles to coming out of the religion is you're going to lose family and friends and
Hmm.
you're going to lose people. But that is not a Jehovah's Witness scripture.
Hmm.
That is a principle, an energetic principle of the universe that when
Hmm.
you lose one thing, it gets replaced. The universe
Right.
doesn't like voids, it doesn't like holes, vacants,
Yes.
empty
Yes.
space. You get it back.
Yes.
And I know that being on the outside, I lost
Mhm.
like over 50 family members.
Mhm.
I have better friends, truer, more
Oh,
sincere,
yes.
authentic friends, people that I consider sisters, people that I
Mhm.
consider mothers in ways that I never would have imagined when
Mhm.
I didn't know this was possible
Yes.
because I grew
Yes.
up in a cult.
Yes. I have my cousins now. I reached out to all my cousins, and
Mhm.
oh my goodness, it's so wonderful. We have
That's
such a
great
good, because they're
advice.
on my mother's side, and
Uh-huh.
we are so much alike, and it's so
So
wonderful.
they were not Jehovah's Witnesses?
Well, see, they all left when they were young.
Okay.
Their
That is a
mothers
great
left.
piece of advice. That is a great
Hmm.
piece of advice for anybody out there listening. You're worried about the family in the religion that you're going to lose.
Hmm.
Remember, you probably have family that is
Yes.
not Jehovah's Witnesses,
Yes.
that you never went to their birthday
Hmm.
parties, you never
Hmm.
celebrated Christmas. So you're going to feel a little bit weird,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
reach out to those non Jehovah's Witness family
Yes.
members because 9 times out of 10, they're like, "Oh my goodness, you come here, sweetheart.
Yes. Oh,
You grew up
yes.
in a cult. We
Yes.
know why you weren't here celebrating birthdays and Christmas. You were in a cult. Come here."
Yes. Yes. I have cousins from New York to Florida. And
Yeah,
I mean, it is just they are just like a heavyweight blanket. They
right,
just take care of
right,
you.
right, right, right.
Yes, it's so nice.
Okay, so wrapping up, what last advice? What's the advice that you would like to give anybody that's listening?
First of all, recognize it's a cult and you need to cut yourself off from it. Okay. Don't carry that with you. If
Mhm,
you need any more information on how it's a cult,
mhm.
then you're really, really brainwashed and you need to talk to somebody. Okay. Not in Jehovah's Witnesses, a therapist, somebody
Okay.
like Deanna.
I
and
definitely understand it. I've been there.
uh, and open yourself up. If you don't get an energy from someone that you can sync with,
Mhm.
there's more people. There's more
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
If you need to talk to somebody, just reach out to me.
yeah.
That's, if I don't contact you right back, well, first of all, if it's urgent, tell me it's urgent. If I don't call you right back, I'm probably very busy. And
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
just like
But
life
there's
things.
but you're not alone. You're not
Yeah,
alone.
you are
There are
not alone
tons of
at
people
all.
out here who understand.
Yes. And I could actually tell you 10 people right now that would open their arms to you, not
You know
just
what?
me.
I would like to say I'm gonna point out this other one thing too. Finding somebody that understands is key
Mhm.
because therapy is crucial, therapy is critical. But
Mhm.
when you come from a cult, you have to explain so much of the
Mhm.
cult that maybe you don't even understand.
Yeah.
You don't even understand.
No, you're
Yeah, that your
just
submission, that your self-esteem, that your
mhm.
lack of ability to say, be proud of yourself. You
Mhm.
may not even understand what to explain to the
Mhm.
therapist. You may not even get it.
Right. You don't
And
understand it yourself and you're
you
saying
don't understand it.
it.
So some people ask me why I use words like the truth,
Uh-huh.
apostate, stuff like that. And I'm going to say why I do that. When you are in the religion and you're starting to leave, you do not belong in the world yet.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
are you're not a Jehovah's Witness or you're mentally questioning, but you're also not worldly yet.
Mhm.
You're in this limbo world.
Mhm.
And language helps us identify people who are also understanding that
Mhm.
that mid
Mhm.
world.
Mhm.
So using terms like the truth,
Mhm.
apostate,
Mhm.
using those words helps somebody a lot of times feel more comfortable
Mhm.
that they can share their story
Right.
without
Right.
having to edit. What does an elder
Right.
mean? What does a
Right.
publisher mean? What does a pioneer mean? It's a
Mhm.
way of feeling like you have this intern group, this clan in the middle that
Mhm.
understands your background, that you don't have to explain. and it's like the safe space, and that's the reason why I use those terms. Not
Hmm.
necessarily because I identify with them for myself, but because when somebody hears me use those words, it's like secret code
Yeah.
that I
You know
understand.
the code.
I know the code language.
I wanted to add one another thing that I host XJW meetups in my
Mhm.
home. My husband is so gracious; he's to go along with it. Everybody loves him. He loves everybody. It's so sweet.
Where are
And
you?
in near in Atlanta, Georgia,
Okay.
and we I really like doing that because the people that come meet each other and they
Yeah,
become friends.
right,
It's just not like
right.
me and them. They like we I just had somebody that lives here in around the Atlanta area,
Uh-huh.
and at my last meetup, and somebody from Savannah, and the one from here went to go visit the one in Savannah just last
Right,
week.
right.
And I was so happy. I was like, my kids are spreading out.
Awesome, awesome.
It's just such a wonderful feeling to see, people that not everybody, finds the right friends. I
Right.
mean, I have friends that are, oh, worldly. And I got, for anybody that doesn't know, worldly technically means that you are very intelligent and you are world wise.
Yeah.
Worldly is not a slur.
Yeah, yeah,
So understand that.
yeah, yeah. Excellent, excellent. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I know everybody's gonna love your energy and love your story. All of you watching out there, please, please, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll talk to you
Bye.
soon. Okay, bye-bye.